live. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Sugar and Spice podcast with your host, Mandy Ferri. So glad to be back. I haven't recorded an episode in a minute. It is close, a little bit past Christmas. So if you celebrate, Merry belated Christmas. If you don't, happy holidays in general. Happy upcoming New Year's. I'm trying to release this episode before New Year's, like 2 days after filming this, but fingers crossed, don't take my word on it. But anyways, today we have a long-awaited spicy episode. I've been waiting to do a spicy episode for so long, but I just felt like a lot of the times when I'd like sit down and record, the spicy episodes would just turn into a sweet one, and I would just get into very like, oh, self-healing, self-whatever, because I feel like that was the era I was in and I just had to live that out, which is why I wasn't very consistent with posting. But you know what? Here's the plan. As we heal, as we do some shadow work, as you know, you guys as early viewers are growing with me, I'm growing, you're growing, we're all taking this day by day. So hopefully the consistency will get better, but as of right now, it is a process. We're taking baby steps. You know, it's not every day you start a podcast, so that's where we're at. Anyways, if I'm a little bit nasally, I do apologize. A lot of my family is sick right now, so I'm hoping I didn't contract it, and I'm hoping it's just like those seasonal sniffles, you know. But today, as you could tell from the title, we have a very, very interesting list of things we're going to talk about. But let's get into it. So, I hope y'all have had a great Christmas and hopefully have some big plans for New Year's. Me, I'm the type of person that honestly, I'm not really like studying that much. Or sorry, I'm studying all the time. I'm not partying as much during the school year, but like the summer, winter break, reading weeks, like I'm low-key, well, not reading week, I feel like I still grind during that era, but during the other times when I have a long break, you already know I go ham, because even though like people say, you know, healthy lifestyle balance, when you're a bio major really trying to pursue some stuff with like a 4.0 GPA type vibe, there is no balance. Like, it is fully work. So my type of balance is finding balance throughout the year where it's like, okay, these couple of months I'm just gonna grind and it'll be worth, because I'll have mini breaks within it and then huge long breaks by the end of it. Always having a better positive twist to it will just work out in your benefit for your mental health, you know. So if you have to like really grind and convince yourself, you know what, I'm just gonna like take a fat long nap, I'm gonna just do nothing for 3 days if you can, or for a full 24 hours, whatever. Just remind yourself that there is a light at the end of the tunnel if you're a full-time student, college, uni, whatever, like me. Moving along with that, again, back to the theme of letting go. Sometimes, not always, but in certain situations, when the wine is flowing, the combos are going, like I'm so excited, I'm having a great time, and it's the holidays. Not the best combo. This past week, I did that on a Monday. Would you believe it? On a Monday. I'm at my cousin's birthday party and I was just so excited. Like, I love this group of people. I love to party with this group of people. Like, they are genuinely one of the top partiers, I would say, because it's a different kind of party. Like, I have my friend groups who are like my people where I like go party, I go ham, like it's Jersey Shore up in that. But then this group, because like my cousin and I are so alike, his friends are very much people that I would easily and do get along with. So I'm not gonna expose any names, but like, you know, whatever. If you know, you know, or if you're listening, you're listening. But they're just like people that I like, you know, I'm chill with. Like, I could really get along with them. They're good people, whatever. And it's a very safe environment, like considering that there's like a lot of guys there and I'm one of the 3 girls there. I wouldn't ever recommend in any other party situation to ever black out, but whenever I'm at family events and I'm in a very 100% safe environment, because like, you know, my aunt was there, like we had parents in the house and I was gonna be sleeping over, the wine was flowing, and at some point, drunk me thought, well, wine Amanda, okay, this is wine Amanda. She thought, I'm sleeping over, I'm kind of getting tired, and you know what? This is tasting like juice, so why not finish it? Honestly, I was like, we have to keep track of how many times I'm getting up and going to fill up my cup with wine. But at one point, I guess it literally just tasted like it was lemonade. Like, I genuinely forgot there was alcohol in it. And I was like, this is just strawberry lemonade. Like, it's fine. Like, let me just go get some more because it's so refreshing and my throat is dry as hell. I went to sleep not that early. Like, I feel like I lasted well enough. 12, not the worst. Well, honestly, my goal was like maybe 2, responsibly at 2. But the party lasted till 5 in the morning. So I got a little bit of FOMO, but at the end of the day, I do think that me tapping out early and going to sleep early was for the best, just because I feel like if I hadn't, crazy drunk Amanda would have popped out, and who knows what kind of truth she would have been spilling. It was just for the best. So I do highly believe that everything happens for a reason. But, I was thinking about this earlier this week. Low key, one of my biggest fears, as someone who's gone on a lot of cruise ships, one of my biggest fears, oh, this is like kind of sad, guys, okay, get ready. But a couple of years ago, I saw like this news article, and it was about this boy. I think he was like maybe 18, between 16 or 18. I genuinely could not remember. But him and his cruise friends all got drunk, and they were like, oh, jump the boat, whatever, whatever. And they convinced him to like do a dare of jumping off the boat. Like, I don't understand where the logic was. But again, when you're super intoxicated, where like there's never logic in the brain. So very scary article, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think about that every single day ever since I saw the news thingy like at work. Oh my god, because as someone who goes on cruise ships so often, or not so often, that sounds like weird, but I have gone on cruise ships and like, get pretty drunk, but I've never gone blackout. Like, that's crazy. That's hella dangerous. Never in a public area like that. But I was just thinking, I was like, that's insane. Like, to think that that could happen to someone is crazy. Like, low-key, I feel like for cruise ships, I understand the whole vibe of like wanting the air when you're on the balcony and like, oh, but I feel like there should be a different invention for that. Make it so that there's this very light mesh. Because why would you need to go over the railing? Exactly. Let me not make that joke. Anyways, that would have been very insensitive. Why would you ever be in a situation where you have to look past the railing? Never. So why not make a very thin, fine mesh that attaches from the railing here to the ceiling type of vibe, so that even if someone were to lean on it, nothing would happen, but not thick enough where it would like bother your view and you'd be like, oh my god, like I wish this mesh wasn't here. Or just make the whole damn thing glass and put some like glass panels to receive air, I guess. I don't know, but I think it's about to be 2025, and I'm not gonna search it up right now, to be honest. I don't really feel like it, but I feel like there are a lot more cruise ship deaths than we think. And that's my take on it. But anyways, I also feel like cruise ships are my favorite type of vacation to go on. I'm not even gonna lie, because high key the security there, not to encourage at all whatsoever. Never do I encourage underage drinking and minors going to clubs, but I was in fact a minor who partook in drinking and going to clubs, especially when I had the opportunity of going like on a cruise. Hello. I don't know if anyone listening has ever been on a cruise before, but if you have, you know that on every cruise ship, there's usually, if you go to like a children cruise ship, obviously if like it's a adults only cruise ship, that ain't gonna be there. But oftentimes there's like a kids club or a teens club. And not gonna lie, I've been to many cruise ships. Wait, what? Let me think of the timeline of the story I'm trying to tell you. Like, when was that? I think I was in grade 8, I believe. I'm pretty sure I was in yes, I was in grade 8. Wow, that's insane. When did I start? Okay, besides the point. I'm turning 21 this year, this 2025, so it's fine. I'm, you know what? I am not an inspiration. As I said, I'm not someone to be aspired upon. I'm just someone who's living life, learning as the life flows, and you guys can learn from my lessons. But I guess I was in grade 8, and we went with a couple family friends. It was, I'm not going to say all of them, but it was me and 4 other girls. Keep in mind, these 4 girls were very close family friend wise. Like, I would be considered more on the outside between like close relationship, like, you know, like cousins that saw each other. We weren't cousins, I call everyone my cousin, but we were just family friends. And so 2 of them were sisters. One was I think my age, and then one was older. That was the first pair of sisters. That was pair A. And then pair B of sisters, one was my age and the other one was a year younger. I had a lot of past with pair B, and we had a very like frenemy friendship. Like, sometimes they were chill, sometimes they were off. I couldn't pick up on their vibe. Like, sometimes they were really cool. Well, not they. One of them was very cool always with me. The second one, I was just kind of like, you're moving snaky. Like, I don't know. Like, everything we're doing, you're just telling on us type of vibe. And so I moved through life with a very open mind. Obviously, you know, who doesn't remember? Well, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I remember a lot of beef from childhood, which is like crazy. I don't hold on to any of the anger, but I just remember a lot of it. And so with that, I move along through life with a very open mindset when I meet these people that I had a past with. So I obviously, going into this, I was like, we're gonna spend a week. Let me just like go in with an open mind. Like, there's a bunch of us. Like, there's literally 5 of us. It should be chill. I'm the outsider one. Like, it's not like it's me and a couple other people making anyone feel uncomfortable. If anything, I could be the one feeling uncomfortable because I don't know either of them super, super well. Like, I didn't fully grow up with them. I had a couple interactions as kids, but it wasn't like a consistent thing. So I just really vibed with all of them at first. Like, we were chilling, we were talking, but then there was just this energy shift. I don't know why, of like, I wanted to go to the teens club, okay? And, you know, respectfully, join me or don't, but I'm gonna do what I wanna do. Like, we go to the teens club. I think it was all of us who went to the teens club, the 6 of us. And after, when we were there was like, you know, attractive boys. They were like, most of them were Italian. I don't think many people spoke English, which honestly baffled me because I think I'd been on a cruise right before that one and everyone spoke English, and I just assumed that was the norm. Like, but they were all from like Portugal, Italy. I was like, damn, okay. Like, and you don't even speak like Spanish, you don't speak English. Like, it was hard, but whatever. And there was like a couple guys like eyeing us down, but you know how guys are sometimes, like, especially at that age, they're kind of nervous, they're kind of like awkward, like they don't really often approach girls. But then, you know, I'm making like eye contact with this one cutie, and actually to this day I don't remember his name, and I never got in contact with him ever again. I'm like telling you the end of the story before I start, but it was so cute. And honestly, this is why like my expectations for men were set pretty high from a young age, because this is me in grade 8. Oh, I have so many like little stories of like why my standards are the way that they are, but those are for another day. Honestly, those are maybe for like sweeter episodes. And so we're like, we're like eyeballing each other, kind of looking, kind of smiling, whatever. And then I think we heard a couple of the teens in the teens club were going down to the actual club, like the adult club, like 18. No, I think in the moment, no, I think that one was 18 or 19 plus. It wasn't 21 plus or anything. And they were like, yeah, like we can like fake that we're 18, like it's fine, like let's all just go. And I was like, low-key, I'm down, like low-key, let's do that, y'all. Like and my parents were going, so I was like, let's just go meet up with our parents, like low-key, like how fun that would be. And so the pair A sisters were like, yeah, let's go, like I'm down, like so vibes. And I think it was pair B sisters then were like, no, Amanda, like that's not a good idea. I don't think we should do that, which is valid because, pair A were older, pair B were technically a little bit younger. But you know what? I've always been an old soul, like people have told me, and so I was like, okay, well, if you guys really don't want to go, you guys don't have to go. We can meet up with you after. And I'm sorry, maybe that was a little bit rude, but like I was gonna go to the club. Like, this is my first opportunity to ever go to a club in my life. You think I'm gonna turn it down? I've been a partier in the sense that I love to dance. If there's a hangout, just the vibes, music, vibes, and chat, beautiful. That's all I gotta say. So, I think the pair A sisters and I were like, okay, let's go. We go to the elevator, like after this big group of teens went, because I was like, okay, let's go after them, because I guarantee you they're gonna get caught. And if we go after, like, I don't know, I just feel like it'll be better. That was a dumb idea. If anything, they'd like keep more of an eye out for younger kids, but whatever. I actually think I had gone to that club earlier that week, not gonna lie. I think I snuck in just like to see the vibe, and like I made direct eye contact with the bouncer and he didn't do anything. So I think that's also why I was a little bit overconfident with this. But regardless, we go to the elevator and bro, I'm telling you, like things in my life have always just happened like a movie sometimes. And the stuff always sounds corny when I say it because I'm just like I feel like the medicine beer. They like, oh man, no one's gonna believe me, but genuinely, this happened. Okay, I might be an over exaggerator, but when it comes to some of these stories, like I am telling you directly, word for word, situation for situation, how it happened. I'm not over exaggerating this because this is a key core memory for me. We're in the elevator, we press the floor, I forget whatever floor the club floor was, and all of a sudden it's the three of us in there, and like the elevator doors are closing and someone just puts their hand right in it, like a little, maybe like a couple inches before it closes. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but the hand in there all of a sudden like startled us. We're like, oh, okay, like, wait, okay. And then I already had a feeling kind of what was gonna happen because this guy and I had been eyeballing each other for a while around the cruise too. Like I just like noticed him and he noticed me and whatever. Oh my god, I just completely forgot. This is why I never found out his name or anything and we never talked again, because this situation happened on the last day of the cruise. And then the next morning everyone was like deboarding and getting their stuff and I didn't see him. So anyways, continuing the story, like let's not focus on the ending, but wherever you are, miss you, man. Genuinely setting a great expectation for men. But we go in, whatever, and he actually, like, I just have so much appreciation for the confidence that this took and for making my movie life complete, because I always in my head think I'm the main character and like just amazing stuff happened to me that's straight out of a movie and he just fit into my delusion. So thank you very much. Whatever, he stops the elevator from closing. The elevator doors open and I see two boys. It's the one that I had been eyeballing that entire week and one of his close friends that I'd seen him with, throughout the entire week. He looks at me, he looks at his friend. Hey guys, I'm editing here and I forgot to mention key detail that actually kind of scared me when this happened, which is not the right thing to do. When they entered the elevator, like they kind of like looked to each other, like him and the friend, and then the friend literally pressed all the buttons on an elevator, like movie style, like type vibe. And I was like, this would be a very scary situation if it wasn't these people. So just some food for thought. Whatever, he goes, what floor are you guys going to? Even though the button was already the button was already pressed, but you know what? I admire just like the swag that he had going into it. He's like, what floor are you guys going to? And then the other two girls, they just kind of didn't say anything because like it was a little like he was talking to everyone, but he was directly looking at me that was on the opposite corner of the two girls, like, you know. So I was like, oh, we're going to the club right now. So then his friend like hit the button, and then he like kind of like slowly was like approaching me like, hi, so like what's your name? And then he like puts his arm, I'm like leaned back fully on the wall of the elevator. I'm like this. And I'm like, I'm reliving it, guys. It was such an intense moment for innocent, however old you are and greedy me. Like, I had my crushes, but I had never been approached with such intensity before. You know what I mean? Like, genuinely straight out of a movie. Whatever. I'm like on my wall's on to the back of the elevator. His arm's like this, like above on the wall by my head. And he's like approaching me. He's like, oh, it's like, what's your name? And obviously this is like very consensual. Like it wasn't an uncomfortable situation. But let me tell you, when he asked me what my name was, he asked it in Portuguese. And I know it's the Portuguese now because one of my best friends is Portuguese. And I completely understand Brazilian Portuguese. I don't know why, but it's just super, I get it. But from Portugal, like, or maybe it was Italian. Oh my god, I'm messing up my stuff. But it was Italian. I thought I could understand Italian like I would with Brazilian Portuguese, but no, hell no. He was like, ¿Cómo te llamas? No, but that was like, there's a couple of sentences, you know, like that you can kind of pick up on. And I was like, oh, I said it with a Spanish accent so that, you know, like the vibe would be there, whatever. We exchanged names. I really don't remember his name though. Did I ask? No, I don't even think I asked his name. I was so flustered in the moment that when he asked me for my name, I was like, oh, I'm Amanda. He's like, oh, Amanda, so are you going to so you were in a club? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, so I'll see you there. And I was like, yeah, you always like, I hope you'll save a dance for me. Obviously, guys, like communication was limited, so the conversation wasn't like blah, 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 like flowing. Because I could barely understand the man. Like, I'm telling you the smooth version of the conversation, but there was a lot of moments where we were like, sorry, what? Like, what are you saying? Because he obviously didn't speak Spanish. I obviously didn't speak Italian. I tried speaking to him in English to see which one was easiest. He preferred the Spanish, so I was like, valid. Whatever. So then they get off, and I was like, guys, I need a minute. Like, I need to breathe. Like, that was crazy. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, we can't go into the club like right after them. And they're like, right, let's take a walk. We take a walk, whatever. I thought this was gonna be it. I thought this was when I was gonna have my first kiss. Little did I know it was 5 years later. Like, what the hell? Not to expose myself, but I don't think that's exposing at all. I was just very much of a like, not wait till the right person, wait for the right moment type of vibe, you know? So whatever. I thought this was gonna be the moment because, you know, the energy was building up. I was like, this feels right. I was going with my gut. Eventually, we go to the club. I walk in. A bunch of teens are already in there. I'm like, oh my god, like this place doesn't even look like it's an 18 plus club anymore. Like it's genuinely turned into the teens club. I walk in, the bouncer, we make eye contact. He's a chill guy now. We're vibes. And whatever, we're dancing. I'm with my two gals. We're with the pair sister A. The sister B pair. They were pissed, by the way. The second we got into the elevator to go to the club, I forgot to mention, they left. Like, you're really gonna go? It's like, sorry, shorty, I want to have fun. And I'm like, the thing is, I would have felt bad if it was, or I wouldn't have gone at all if I was leaving one person alone, but they were sisters. It wasn't like they were strangers and neither of them wanted to go. So I was like, perfect, y'all can keep each other company and I'm gonna go with them, you know? Like, you guys have a built-in friend here. I'm the one who has, like, just basically met y'all again. And so they were mad. They like left off and I had no idea what they were gonna do after, which was crazy, by the way. I'm asking for drinks, we're getting poured shots. Also, I think it was the trip right before this trip, but the men are creeps on cruise ships. I don't know what it is, but the first cruise ship I went to, I think I was in grade 7, and I was getting hit on by someone who was 18. That's strange. This time when I went to the club, and I'm like back to the main storyline, why were 42-year-old men giving me shots? Yup. Kind of strange, guys. But I was like, a win is a win. As long as I go to the bar with them and I see the bartender pour it up for me, a win is a win. Obviously, I can't pour or I can't ask for a drink when my card ID says 13 to 14 years. Oh my god, guys, I'm not at all encouraging underage drinking. I'm telling you to learn from my lessons, which is to not go to clubs and drink with older people that are not your age because they're going to be creeps. Please don't. But back to the story. We're dancing. There was this whole crazy moment where this girl, she was like, I had met her, like I had talked to her at the teens club, and she seemed like such a sweet, innocent girl, and all I'm seeing is like crazy action on the dance floor. I'm not gonna expose her, but let me tell you, the action with another guy, insane. Obviously a teen, thank God, but I'm just saying she was throwing that thing a little bit too loosely when they were adults low-key around the vicinity. And whatever, I'm doing my thing, I'm dancing, and we're gonna call him Bob. He was so sexy, actually, guys. For my era, like when I was in that moment, I was like, oh my god, he's so fine. But yeah, I don't know. I actually have no buts. I don't know what happened. We were dancing. Well, actually, he was like, get in my bed. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, obviously I do. And we were dancing, whatever we were dancing from. But like, guys, grade 8-year-old me, she was awkward. She was not like super confident in the dance moves yet. Like, that was a skill I later developed in high school. I was more of like a dance in my room in private kind of vibe, and like I had never actually, yeah, in that moment, that was right before grad, I had never slow danced or danced with a guy that close to me before, ever. So I was a little bit awkward. He was like kind of like leading the way, so it was very cute. We were smiling. It just sucked that we didn't speak the same language, because it was like there was obviously like a huge language barrier, and we wanted to talk more, but like it was just more of like a communicate with your eyes and like vibe moment. Eventually, the club lights turn on and they're like, bunch of teens are in here. They need to get out. If you get caught, whatever. I forget. I don't even remember. I just heard teens are in here. You need to get out. I grabbed my 2 girls and I was like, we're out of here. We gotta go. We leave, and I don't see him again. Very unfortunate situation. And after then, the 2 girls, I don't know which one. I have a suspicion which one of the 2 girls from sister pair B exposed us to the parents. But I'm not gonna expose her, it's fine. She went to the parents and told them where we were, what we were doing, and that we were drinking alcohol. People, obviously way older than us, and they were like, we got exposed from the club, our parents found us, there was a whole confrontation thing, and then there was a whole situation of like me excluding people and me leaving people out, and I was like, no, I wanted y'all to come. Like, I thought this would have been such a fun bonding moment, the 4 or 5 of us. Y'all didn't want to come. And I told my parents that, so
Alright folks, so we have reached the part of the night, or the part of the podcast where it becomes sort of ASMR, because it is 1 in the morning, and unfortunately my family, literally almost all of them, have gotten the stomach flu sort of thing. We don't really know what it is, but yeah, so pray for them. Their stomach is going through it. Not the best. Only 2 people in my house who haven't gotten it yet have been my father and me. So we are isolating who's sick is like, you know, doing their own thing. And my dad is sleeping alone in my brother's room now. And I'm sleeping obviously in my own room. But the only issue is that low-key the walls between my brother's room and my room, paper thin. Like, I will constantly hear these boys having full-out conversations at 3 in the morning because they wake up just to chat. Like, I don't know. Anyways, so we're gonna have to finish up this episode slightly faster and quicker than expected, but it's alright. Let's just cut to the chase, cut to the point why y'all clicked on here. Anyways, as I was saying, back to the one conversation of, yeah, so eventually I never got his name, we never exchanged numbers, anything of the sort, and he was just kind of left as a little fairy tale moment, like a little fling thing. Point is, I honestly think the only reason I didn't have my first kiss then was genuinely the whole thing with the security thing, but I think we probably would have, because it felt like the right time. I feel like I was ready, just because he was like very romantic, and it was just like, oh my god, like a little like cruise boo thing on the last day. Like, I had that image in my head, but the universe said no to that. Either way, that set up my standards, and moving along through high school and whatever, I was just kind of like, no, I'm not just gonna meet up with you in your car. I'm not just gonna be your sneaky link and like go over to your house. Like, that's just not the vibe for me personally. I don't judge those who do. If that's the way you move about your life, you know, go off. The whole point, I feel like, of like females having this freedom is the fact that you get to choose what you want to do. If you want to go do that thing, you can. If you want to go do this thing, you can. Point is, we got options now, and everyone's just more freer to live their life the way they truly love and want to, you know? Anyways, I'm getting off point. Point is, he set up like a really high expectation for what I wanted for my first kiss, and not to like give him this like big boost of who he was as a person. Like, honestly, I didn't even know the guy for a full like, I didn't talk to him for a full 48 hours even, so whatever. But just like, there's been a lot of examples in my life, I feel like, where men just, of course, there's a couple in my family, like, where you see in the distance, where men have treated the woman pretty trashly. But me personally, directly, I would say my parents are a very great example of like a really good and healthy relationship, and like with open communication, whatever. And they've been together for like over 25 years type of vibe. My grandparents, although maybe not the best example. Who else? I don't know, I feel like maybe them, I don't know, I just feel like I was raised with this kind of like expectation of like a chivalrous type of man, and honest and loyal and communicative. And I'm not saying I'm expecting that. Like, things can be learned, but I do have a certain standard. If you're not willing to learn, then there's an issue. I'll be honest, some people's habits just don't change. So when it comes to a relationship, I expect open, honest communication, and within that, you guys should communicate boundaries and what you would consider, especially nowadays, what is cheating and what isn't. There are the more obvious kind of factors where it's like, oh, like you made out with this person or whatever. But I feel like we don't talk about often the online aspect. I personally think texting someone for like long periods of time and you're like building a connection, even that's just through text, is kind of, I believe, emotional cheating. Because you're still forming a bond regardless whether it's online or in person. And it's the same thing as if you were to do it in person. And at the end of the day, I think it depends also on the vibe. If it's genuinely just like a work friend or your family friend, who knows, whoever, and it's just completely platonic, there's no attraction, then I think whatever, right? But within these boundaries, I think a big gray area is liking IG stories, liking Instagram posts. Like I hear a lot of like relationships, sometimes they have problems with, oh, the boyfriend's always liking all these girls' pictures and whatever. If you've expressed to him that that makes you uncomfortable and he doesn't care, or his actions are showing that he doesn't care, meaning that he still does it after like many mentions, not even that many, like I wouldn't excuse that many, then there's a problem. There is a problem with respect and him not respecting your boundaries and what made you feel uncomfortable. Hot take, not gonna lie. So some couples are very open, obviously. Some are just like, oh, it's just a like I don't care if it's just an Instagram story, whatever, like he thought it was a cute picture. I would say before in the past, I would agree. But me now says there's just no need to like the picture. And as a girl, I think it can be a little bit embarrassing. Like, sometimes guys just don't understand the perspective of where it's like, the other girl whose picture you liked, she's gonna show her friends, especially if you guys are like a very public relationship. Be like, oh my god, like, look who liked my picture, that's so weird, like I thought that, they were such a tight couple, like that is so sus, because that's just what everyone thinks. When you like someone's Instagram picture, especially a girl's, as a man, I feel like everyone has a certain understanding that if it's like a picture of their body or themselves, or like kind of like a cute moment, I feel like it's obvious that's online flirting. If it's now like a silly meme or a picture of their dog, that's harmless. Picture of their family, harmless. Group photo of just like them having a fun time, harmless. But it's the fact that if you do repeated patterns, or you see repeated patterns of them liking certain pictures, that's disrespectful, especially if you've already communicated it. And let me tell you, this happened to me recently. I feel like I'm gossiping, yeah. Like, I'm just not gonna say names, because you know what, the thing is, for the people involved in this story, sorry if you didn't want me to say it, but I was involved not by choice. This was done to me. So I'm gonna say my story. I'll keep everything anonymous, obviously. But if you do happen to hear this video, hi. Sorry. But it's just too strange, too funny to me. And it relates to what we're talking about. So, I, for one, would say it is cheating. But I can excuse, like, maybe the first couple issues of it. But it, like, maybe they didn't know, and maybe you didn't communicate it prior. Valid. But this man, I think, like, okay, we have this mutual friend who wanted to set us up, and it was like, I think, low-key COVID times, so she showed him a picture of me. He was like, yeah, she's cute, whatever, send me her snap. And I was like, okay, show me a picture of him. A picture was not shown, and she's like, no, just like trust the process, whatever, it's one of those. I was like, okay, I'm scared. He turned out not to be bad. Like, he's relatively attractive, objectively attractive. What's the word? Objectively attractive. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. just not personally. Honestly, like, physically, he's okay looking. I wouldn't say he's ugly at all. Personality wise was the issue with me. I just didn't feel like a romantic connection there. I felt like he was very much more friend vibes personally. I could not see myself dating him. That was just it. I expressed that to my friend after a couple of weeks of him and I chatting it up on Snapchat. And this man, it was like, I think she told him, like, oh yeah, Amanda's not interested in like that. Like, she sees you as a friend. And I said Amanda. That's my real name. I don't know if you know that, but yeah. And this man, he just completely unadded me on Snap, unadded me on Instagram, like everything. The whole shebang. And I was like, okay, whatever. After like 2 months, he adds me back on everything. He's texting me, it's all friendly. I'm going like all the way back to the previous lore, but you guys have to know, okay? You guys have to know. Because I'm tired of this man, and it's time for me to speak my truth at the end of the day. So, he adds me back, we're chatting it up, we're very friendly, and I'm talking to that mutual friend again. We're gonna call her Victoria. And so I tell Victoria, yeah, like I was just chatting to, what should we name him? Let's name him Pablo. So I was like, yeah, I was talking to Pablo, yada yada, this and that, ha ha ha, tee hee hee. And she was like, wait, you still talk to Pablo? I thought you ended things after, you said it was like very friendly. And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, like, I told her obviously that he removed me on everything. She's like, I thought you guys ended on bad terms. And I was like, I thought so too, but like, we're vibing, we're chilling. And I'm just so glad it's platonic and like, we can be vibes. I just don't want to have beef, unnecessary beef, And Victoria goes, Mandy, I just don't think you should talk to Pablo, to be honest. Like, if I were you, like, I would just avoid him and don't speak to him again. I was like, what do you mean? And Victoria was like, well, like, he is around a lot of people I'm around. I hear a lot of stuff that he talks about. Like, things that have been told to her from other people. And, like, very close people to him. And apparently when I ended it, this man was all like, oh, she's so ugly. Oh, yada yada this, yada yada that. I hate her. She's so rude. I was like, okay. Not like you were calling me sexy and attractive and all this and that like 48 hours ago. But who's keeping track? Not me. So after that, I was like, I don't vibe with this guy. Like, he's immature, not my vibe. Ugh, move on. Obviously, I kept in contact with Victoria. We're still very close, so sometimes when I see Victoria, I see Pablo, and we keep it very civil, very chill. Still don't like the guy. When I went, didn't like the guy. I was like, okay, I'll be civil with you. You can be vibes, I guess. You're funny. But sometimes I just really have to tolerate it respectfully. And like, never mind, let me not get into that. I could though, but I won't. And just a very interesting guy overall. Very interesting to read. Let's just say that. Sorry, Pablo. To be fair, Pablo also has a lot of reasons for not liking me. I'm not gonna make myself completely innocent in this situation. Like, I did say also, like, but this was after. I said this after Pablo was being rude. I did say something and it got told back to him. But I was just saying what everyone else was thinking was that he really wanted a girlfriend. You know what? I don't think that's a crime to say if someone, like, I think I was speaking factually. Oh, now my tone of voice when I said that came out maybe a little bit, ooh, on the rough edge, so whatever. Point is, we keep it civil in person, but Pablo is, well, at the start of this year, 2024, around not going to specify, earlier this year, he was in a relationship, and again, let me just say, before he was in a relationship, very constant likes to my story for someone who claims they don't really like me at all as a person, and that I'm ugly. But whatever, again, who's keeping track? And Pablo gets into a relationship with this girl, very cute, completely opposite, could not be more any more different than me. Only similarity I would say is the dark hair. Nothing else, not the pattern, nothing else, not the skin tone, anything completely different. And even throughout this relationship, he was consistently liking a lot of my stories, and I was like, ew. You know, for someone who really doesn't like me and is in a relationship and loves his girlfriend so much and posts about it so much, you're moving very weird, very icky. Eventually, they break up. I told this to our mutual friend Victoria, and I was like, just so you know, like, I don't know what to do about this. I am someone who is very aware of how sometimes men can portray other girls in this kind of side of stories, and I was just really not trying to get involved in that. So I was like, if anything happens, you know, you heard it here first, like, this is what's going on. And Victoria was like, oh my god, that's so fucked, like, that's not okay. And agreed. We had a whole conversation, we had a whole, not debate because we were on the same side, but, you know, discussion of, is liking the story cheating? Because especially if you're in a relationship that is very jealous on whatever party or either party, like, there's kind of sort of an understanding of when you know someone enough to be in a relationship with them, you also kind of like know your way, like what they would think is bad and disrespectful. So anyways, she was like, okay, keep letting me know if it happens again, like, because that's like really weird, and if it happens enough, like, I'm gonna have to like tell the girlfriend because her and I are close. And I was like, yeah, valid. Of course, it continued happening, and eventually they broke up for completely different reasons. But I would say like a couple months later, he got with another girl, literal twin of the ex, bro. Like I honestly could not tell you, like, if you put them both beside each other and give me like a spot to the difference type of game, man, I'm losing. I could sit there for hours and not be able to tell you a single difference. I don't even know the difference in their names, bruh. But anyways, point is, he got into a new relationship and clearly has a type, and consistently again liking the stories low-key a little bit more often. So again, I'm telling Victoria, I'm like, bro, now he's moving even weirder. What is going on? Eventually, Victoria talks to a couple other people, like friends, and like they're getting all advice too, giving us advice on what to do. And all the people were like, bro, you should tell a girlfriend because they're like, you're really close to her. They're pretty tight. Like, that's kind of fucked. Like, you know, like, be a girl's girl. They were initially saying I should text her. I was like, hell no. Hell no, I'm not going to involve myself in this situation way more than I have to. I did my part by coming to y'all. You guys are friends with the girl. I'm not going to involve myself any more than I have to be. But then we came to the conclusion that I should text. Oh my god, I almost said his real name. Pablo. I DM Pablo. I'm like, hey man, don't you have a girlfriend? Because he doesn't post her that much. So I made it out as if I was confused. He goes, yeah, why? And I was like, oh, I was just like a little bit confused because, you know, like, I just noticed you liking my stories. And then Pablo goes, yeah, well, respectfully, just because I like your stories doesn't mean I'm hitting on you, whatever. And then I was like, whoa there, buddy, like, I never said that. Oh, he was like, we don't even talk. And I was like, well, there, we don't talk, like, we don't like each other, like that was such a... And I was like, valid, but whoa, I never said that. I was just saying I think it's completely disrespectful of you to do that to your girl. And to me as well, because let me be honest, I went off here. I'm not gonna say word for word what I said because I don't remember. And he unfollowed me and I unfollowed him. But I said something along the lines that it's just disrespectful to both of us and to her especially, and how some people would consider it like micro cheating. And I was like, if you haven't discussed those boundaries, like I was teaching this man how to be a civil, loyal partner, I guess. Anyways, he goes, yeah.
A crucial part of the story that I forgot to mention that I remembered while editing was that the reason this was a big deal was because since Victoria was so close to the girlfriend, she was like, no, like I've had so many conversations with the girlfriend and Pablo, like they both would not be okay with each other doing this. So like this is not okay for Pablo to be doing in the first place. But I guess eventually she was okay with it when he came out about the truth of it, because I don't think I said that either. But and then everything was dandy. So they stayed together. You know, go love, go power, go team.
I think I'm gonna end it, and then I forget to end it and keep talking, and my iPad reminds me I have to end it soon. But let me finish this up here, and I guess we'll talk more in the next episode about this, because it's really interesting and I want to get into the depths of kind of the sides of cheating and how you can see it. But let me finish up the story. Basically, what was the last thing I said? Oh, he goes, yeah, okay, I'll consider it. And I go, yeah, I think she'd appreciate it. And he goes, sorry, man, like, I didn't mean to disrespect either side. Whatever. And then he said something else, and then I gave him, like, a thumbs up emoji. Text Victoria about the whole situation, and she was like, oh my god, he unfollowed you. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, if that's what it takes for you to be loyal to your girl, I would rather you unfollow me. Like, I really don't care. So, I just thought it was weird. He came off super defensive. Relax. I was just trying to have a conversation. And I honestly wouldn't have said the story if you reacted differently and more calmly, but I don't like you, so I don't care. Eventually I was talking to Victoria. Victoria was like, oh yeah, apparently, like, him and we talked about it, and apparently he told his girlfriend about it. They had a conversation. It's all good now. War is... Wait, how does the sound go? So this is Chris. War is over. Wait, let's get that going here. So this is Christmas. War is over. And a happy new year. Okay, that's when you know I have to go. And I need to sleep. So, tune in to the next episode. Hopefully we'll be out by next Sunday. And we're likely going to speak more about cheating. Aspects of cheating. I'm not going to give too much on what we're going to be chatting about. But mainly because I don't know, and we're going to figure it out then. That's the vibe of this podcast. Weekly advice for the end. Recognize your worth. Recognize that you are worth loving, respecting, and putting in the effort for. Because recently I feel like I was tested by this very fine wine man. Oh my god. You guys have no idea. And I could never show him, but just know he was so beautiful, okay? Glowed up since the last time I saw him. And I had a little bit of a crush on him. And old Amanda, a year ago, she would have low-key done anything, any sort of manifestation, any sort of this, that, to be with this man. To manifest a relationship with him. But Amanda this year, someone who's grown and recognized her worth and been loving myself more. I feel like this year has been very much about overall loving myself and learning what it actually means to love yourself, rather than just getting up in the morning and doing some self-care and doing your makeup. It means removing things that are no longer. My iPad is once again yelling at me to shut the up. So, anyways, yeah. Love yourself more, learn your worth. I was tested recently. Old me who didn't know my worth, she would have wanted to chase after this man, fight for him, manifest. New me who has recognized what I bring to the table into a relationship, into someone's life, not to sound cocky, but I realize my worth and how much worth I could bring into this. And I've recognized someone who I want to be with is someone who by then should value who I am as a person and shouldn't have to make me question anything, and should honestly be grateful that I was even like interested in that sense, because truthfully I don't be interested in just anyone like that. So yeah, recognize your worth and it'll pay off from long and endless situationships that won't end up going anywhere, and hopefully help you find your way to someone who will actually treat you amazing and beautifully and give you that princess treatment that you deserve. But I gotta go. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. My TikTok is what is it? Mango.Mandy, I'm pretty sure. Mandy Ferri, maybe it'll come up if you search that up. Instagram is Mandy Loves Mangoes. I think that's pretty much it. You can also watch this on Spotify. Probably not by the time this is out, but eventually. I love you guys, and your support means everything. If you would like to drop a like, a subscription, I'm planning also to do some vlogs soon, so we have fun, exciting stuff. I love you all.